Where do new species come from? It's one of evolution's greatest stories. Imagine a single population of lizards living across a wide, flat plain. For centuries, they are one interbreeding family. But then, geology gets to work. A mountain range slowly rises, splitting the plain and the lizard population in two. The groups are now completely isolated. There is no more gene flow. On the west side, the environment becomes a dry desert, favoring lizards with sandy-colored scales and greater water retention. On the east side, a lush forest develops, favoring darker-skinned lizards adept at climbing trees to escape new ground predators. For thousands of generations, each group adapts to its unique world. Their bodies change, their diets shift, their mating rituals diverge. Then, a pass opens in the mountains. The two lizard populations meet again, but they can no longer create healthy offspring. Their genetics have drifted too far apart. They are reproductively isolated. Through this process of allopatric speciation, driven by a geographic barrier, one species has become two. But what if there's no mounting? Imagine a fruit fly that lives and mates only on hawthorn trees. One day, some flies begin to use a nearby apple orchard. Apples mature at a different time than hawthorns, so the apple-dwelling flies start breeding on a different schedule. They begin to prefer mates they meet on apples. Even though they live right next to their hawthorn-dwelling cousins, their lifestyles have built an invisible wall between them. Over time, this leads to sympatric speciation, the birth of a new species in the very same place. These powerful mechanisms of isolation, whether by rock or by routine, are how evolution generates the breathtaking diversity of life on Earth.